Sister Wives Meri Brown seeks to re-establish connections with his children, although not all are persuaded by his intentions. Sister Wives Meri Brown is reaching out to his 18 children, although he is closely associated with one individual who is blamed for their division. Cody, who was reveling in the euphoria of a polygamous relationship, found himself contemplating the circumstances surrounding Christine Brown's decision to divorce him in early 2021. Meri Brown and Janelle Brown departed from the marriage in season 18, resulting in Cody's monogamous relationship with his fourth wife, Robin Brown. Nonetheless, Cody's relationship with his 18 children has irreparably deteriorated. However, he appears prepared to pursue reconciliation, albeit with conditions. The existing hostility between Cody and his children escalated during the COVID-19 pandemic when Cody urged Janelle to expel their boys, Gabe and Garrison, from the residence. Moreover, he neglected to remember his son's birthday, overlooked Christmas gifts, and was missing during his daughter Isabel's operation. His relationships with other children, such as Payton and Maddie, deteriorated due to their resentment for his treatment of their moms, according to Screen Rant. In Sister Wives Season 19, Cody began contemplating reconciliation. While he acknowledged his desire to mend the situation, he also stated he would not compel them to love him. Robin, however, compelled him to act, insisting he should camp at their doorsteps if necessary to mend the relationships. Recently, Sister Wives anchor Suki Krishnan commented on Cody's attempts to re-establish connections with his children. During an interview on The Sarah Fraser Show, she disclosed, he is endeavoring to identify a setting in which he can engage with his sons as men and his daughters as women. Krishnan further stated, his objective is to enhance his role as a father, while also observing that some of his children continue to be reluctant to interact with him. In January 2025, Cody reportedly expressed his willingness to reconcile with his adult children, emphasizing that the initiative must be mutual. My children will perpetually remain my children, and the door will consistently be open to them, he stated, while emphasizing that they must also enter through that door. On the January 12, 2025 episode of Sister Wives, Cody expressed his willingness to reconnect with his estranged adult children. Nevertheless, he firmly said that he will not forsake Robin, despite his belief that many of his 18 children desire that outcome. He stated that if his children reach out, I will extend a hand for that, but I will also maintain the hand beside me, and I will not relinquish that hand. Cody said that his children's difficulties with Robin are a significant cause of conflict, yet he refuses to jeopardize his current marriage, stating, I will not sever ties with Robin to maintain a relationship with my children. On the episode of Sister Wives airing on Sunday, December 1st, 2024, Janelle asserted that Cody's assumption that abandoning Robin will mend his connections with his children is erroneous. Janelle elucidated that Cody believes he can attend family functions provided he leaves Robin at home, which is why she did not invite him to their daughter Savannah's graduation party. She additionally stated, and that is so far from the truth. She additionally stated, Cody is estranged from 90 to 95% of his offspring. His presence is generally unwelcome at events. He will not attend, irrespective of whether he accompanies or does not accompany. Cody continues to perceive Robin as the primary obstacle. The situation is unfavorable, he stated, adding, I have an entire branch of the family that has chosen to maintain their familial ties while excluding us. They will permit my entry into the club provided I abandon Robin. I am unable to perform the task. Nevertheless, on a brisk autumn morning in Flagstaff, the Brown family residence was imbued with an uncommon sense of exhilaration. Robin and Cody resolved to reaffirm their vows in a modest, intimate ceremony to commemorate their 10th wedding anniversary. The concept originated informally during a family dinner but rapidly evolved into a topic of widespread discussion, particularly following an unexpected disclosure. Cody desired to select Robin's wedding dress himself. Upon his announcement, the room fell silent. Christine glanced up from her plate, taken aback. Pardon, what? Janelle blinked, both perplexed and entertained. Are you selecting the dress? Meri arched her eyebrow and murmured softly, well, that's novel. However, Robin exhibited a smile. Not a feigned smile. Her eyes radiated a delight she had not experienced in years. "Do you genuinely wish to proceed with that?" she inquired, delicately resting her hand atop Cody's. "I concur," he responded. "I desire it to be something exceptional. I desire it to remain a surprise." A storm began to develop beneath the surface of the Brown family's dynamics. Cody sought the assistance of a local designer in Sedona, an expert in simple yet stunning gowns. He meticulously examined fabrics, lace embellishments, and hand-stitched needlework, resolute in his quest to discover the ideal appearance for Robin. He failed to confer with Robin. He did not consult the other women. He embarked on a solitary mission of affection or dominance, contingent upon the perspective of the observer. In her confession, Christine was candid. "He never selected a sock for me, much less a wedding dress. I have a particular sentiment. If it is his preferred method of expressing affection towards Robin, that is acceptable. However, he never performed this action for anyone else. Not remotely near." Meri, who had long grappled with her position within the family, spoke very little. However, her quiet spoke everything. The day for the renewing of vows arrived. The ceremony was a modest outdoor event among the woods, illuminated by soft lamps and accompanied by calm music. Robin was escorted to a secluded dressing tent where the enigmatic dress awaited her. Upon unzipping the clothing bag, her breath was momentarily suspended. The garment was unprecedented in her expectations. The garment had elongated chiffon sleeves, a retro lace bodice, and intricate pearl buttons along the back. It was unassuming yet sophisticated. Delicate ivory. Amorous. Majestic. Resembling a garment from a bygone era. Upon her emergence in it, those present gasped. Cody's eyes brimmed with tears. "You resemble a queen," he said. Robin radiated joy. However, not all individuals in the throng were smiling. Christine was unable to contain herself. In her confession, she exclaimed, "He has never regarded me in that manner. I previously believed I lacked romantic inclinations. Perhaps he simply lacked the desire to pursue a romantic relationship with me." The dress transcended its function as a gown and evolved into a symbol. For Robin, it constituted evidence of Cody's commitment. For the other spouses, it served as yet another reminder of the changing dynamics within the family. Following the ceremony, emotions surged. Christine confronted Cody near the buffet line. "Do you still perceive us?" she insisted. Cody exhaled, preparing for the impending turmoil. This was not concerning anyone else. The subject pertained to Robin. The vow renewal concluded with gentle music and dancing, although the emotional scars persisted. The clothing, chosen with affection or bias, depending on one's viewpoint, left a lasting impression on the family. Robin stored the outfit in a glass display case in her bedroom. Christine commenced packing boxes 1 week later. Meri pondered once more whether any future remained. What about Cody? He was convinced he had created something exquisite. Even exquisite objects can fracture. Nevertheless, in early April in Flagstaff, Cody Brown stood quietly at the backyard's edge, his hands concealed in his coat pockets, his gaze fixed on the horizon. The remote snow-covered summits provided no solutions, but a memory of the familial peace he once envisioned. His marriages were tumultuous, communication was difficult, and his ties with several of his children were, at best, tenuous. However, an impulse within him urged a final attempt to pursue reconciliation and mend the remnants of their formerly close-knit family. Cody acknowledged his errors. His partiality, obstinacy, and inflexible regulations throughout the pandemic had created divisions between him and his spouses. Christine had departed. Janelle was emotionally disengaged. Meri had constructed fortifications so elevated that they were nearly impervious. Robin, his most steadfast supporter, was fatigued and disheartened as she witnessed the family's disintegration. Cody convened a family meeting, not via video conference or text, but as an in-person assembly in a neutral site, the former cul-de-sac where they had once resided in Las Vegas. It encapsulated recollections of togetherness, of children at play, and of family dinners that extended late into the evening. It was the final location when they all genuinely experienced familial bonds. He dispatched a handwritten letter to each wife. There are no lectures, no requirements, a sincere and candid appeal. Remarkably, all three of his separated spouses concurred. Christine experienced the longest hesitation, however ultimately acquiesced, not for Cody, but for the tranquility of her children. Upon the arrival of the day, the atmosphere was laden with ambivalent emotions. Janelle arrived with a resolute demeanor, her sons maintaining an emotional distance. Meri entered alone, vigilant yet inquisitive. Christine arrived with Truly, who appeared more optimistic than her mother. Robin was the last to arrive, closely holding her children, her fear evident in her every movement. Cody inhaled deeply and commenced. "I am not here to defend myself," he stated. "I am present due to my want for our family. I long for our former dynamic, sharing laughter, engaging in disputes, and co-parenting our children. I have been exercising control. I have been unjust. I have allowed fear and pride to direct my actions rather than love. I apologize." Silence ensued. Unexpectedly, Janelle articulated her thoughts. "I am uncertain if we can ever return, Cody. However, I commend you for taking responsibility. That beyond what we have heard in years." Meri acquiesced with a slow nod. "We are all fatigued. However, it is possible that we all contributed to this disintegration." Christine gazed intently at Cody. "You shattered my heart. However, if this is genuine, pertaining to healing rather than control, I am prepared to listen." They convened over multiple weekends. Not as a singular harmonious family, but as distinct individuals prepared to engage in dialogue. The youngsters were included in these discussions. The experience encompassed tears, laughing, candid revelations, and unexpected instances of tenderness. Cody commenced therapy sessions with each of his consenting wives. He dedicated personal time to his children, not to admonish them, but to understand the individuals they had evolved into. He ceased addressing them and starting attending to their words. He and Christine would never reunite as a couple. Nonetheless, they established a foundation of co-parenting and mutual respect. Janelle started to exhibit a more lenient attitude, observing genuine transformation in Cody's conduct. Meri, after several years, remarked, "Perhaps we can rekindle our friendship." Robin, while remaining protective, conceded, "This is the man I always envisioned you becoming." The Browns would never revert to their previous existence. However, that was acceptable. Harmony does not equate to uniformity. It signified reciprocal respect, emotional transparency, and a readiness to progress. By year's end, they hosted a family supper, not flawless, but exquisite in its imperfections. Humor reemerged. The children conversed openly. Cody, no longer the father of a singular, unified home, had evolved into a more admirable individual, a humbled guy who comprehended that family transcends power. It pertained to love, forgiveness, and the act of consistently being present, despite challenges. Nonetheless, the inaugural snowfall of the season in Flagstaff coincided with the brisk air outside, reflecting the emotional detachment that had developed among the Brown family. Thanksgiving was intended to be a period of unity, affection, and appreciation. This year, the sister wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, celebrated the holiday individually. The previously cohesive family had started to disintegrate due to emotional pressure, miscommunication, and unresolved sentiments. Christine, who relocated to Utah earlier that year with her daughter Truly, was the first to formally dissociate from the conventional family celebration. Her residence in Murray exuded warmth, mirth, and the aroma of cinnamon and roasted turkey. Michael, Tony, and their twin infants visited, accompanied by Aspen and Mitch. They assembled around an exquisitely arranged table adorned with handcrafted decorations created by Christine's grandchildren. Christine rose to deliver a toast. "This year I selected tranquility. Although we are not physically united, I am convinced that love can transcend geographical boundaries." Her eyes shimmered, yet her expression remained resolute. Concurrently, Janelle chose a serene and contemplative Thanksgiving at her leased apartment in Flagstaff. Only two of her children were able to attend, Gabe and Savannah. The atmosphere was subdued yet purposeful. The meal was unpretentious: mashed potatoes, sweet buns, and a little turkey, but it was prepared with affection. They engaged in board games, reflected on past family road trips, and expressed their gratitude. "I long for the tumult of our grand Thanksgivings," Janelle confessed, sipping cider. However, at times, simplicity provides space for respite. Meri chose to celebrate her Thanksgiving at Lizzie's Heritage Inn in Parowan, Utah. Solitary, although not desolate, she devoted herself to cooking a meal for the visitors residing at her inn. She meticulously arranged the table, positioned gratitude cards at each place setting, and prepared her grandmother's renowned cranberry stuffing. Subsequently, she seated herself on the porch with a mug of hot cocoa, observing the sunset. A melancholic smile appeared on her lips. "I remain a member of the family," she murmured to herself, "even from this location." Robin resided in Flagstaff with Cody and her offspring. Resolute in preserving tradition, she orchestrated a comprehensive Thanksgiving supper. The residence was adorned with gilded foliage, luminous fairy lights, and photographs from previous family vacations. The vacant seats at the table were not overlooked. Cody exhaled, gazing at the unutilized place settings for the other spouses. "It is not identical, Robin," Robin silently acknowledged. "I am aware. However, we must respect each individual's current position." They clasped hands, encircled by their children, and expressed gratitude for the enduring love they possessed and the family that had previously been. As night descended upon Utah and Arizona, each of the sister wives gazed at the identical sky, the same stars twinkling above them. Although physically apart, they remained spiritually bonded. Deep within their hearts, they all aspired that one day, perhaps not the next year, but eventually, they could gather around the same Thanksgiving table again, not out of obligation, but out of desire.